One Piece, the epic tale of Luffy and his pirate crew on their way to the biggest treasure of them all. But One Piece is so much more than that. There is no way to cover the real story of One Piece in just 1 minute, so I won't. I will kind of do that, but it will take a lot more time than a minute. In this video, I will rank my favorite sagas in One Piece, which will basically tell the story of One Piece. When I am saying sagas, I am referring to the 8 big ones. For example, Romance Dawn is the first arc in the East Blue saga. In this list, I am referring to the anime in my ranking, not the manga, although I will not give too much importance to the filler arcs. I will be ranking my favorites on my biased opinion. My opinion. I have no problem with people having different opinions than mine, and you should also remember that while you are watching this video. If you disagree with something I say or think, you are welcome to start a discussion in the comments section. I will probably join in as well. But please don't just dislike this video just because you disagree with me or if I put your favorite arc on the bottom. I worked extremely hard on this video. I easily put more than 15 hours into it, considering the 14-page script and the long-ass editing sessions. Thanks in advance. Also, a warning. Spoiler alert. If it wasn't clear enough, I'm not gonna spoil things from the manga that the anime didn't cover yet, but I'm going to go through the entire series up to the end of the DeRosa saga, and cover many important events that happened, so make sure you are up to pace with the anime. I warned you. So let's not waste any more time and get right into the list. Number 8, DeRosa. Not too long ago, this saga was still called Pirate Alliance, but then the people in charge of the One Piece Wikia probably realized something important: how enormously huge the DeRosa arc is. It is so freaking long, I almost forgot that the Punk Hazard arc is also packaged with it in the formerly called Pirate Alliance saga. So let me just make it a bit clearer by showing the numbers. The DeRosa arc, I remind you, arc, not saga, has 118 episodes. Okay, add the 2 small filler arcs and Punk Hazard, and it makes for a whopping 172 episodes. 172 episodes. If you think about it, 172 weeks is more than 3 years. But let's leave the length of the saga aside for now and start from the beginning. The saga starts in the small filler arc Z's Ambitions, which was a movie setup and I don't care for it too much. Next was Punk Hazard or Punk Hazard. So let's talk about the meat of the arc first. Story, characters, villain, etc. The saga covers the crew on the island Punk Hazard post the fight of the Navy Admirals Kuzan and Akainu. Thanks to that, the scenery is one of the more interesting in the series, even when pitched up against sky, underwater, and so on. Half of the island is scorching hot lava mess, and the other covered with deep snow. The main villain of the arc is Caesar Clown, the gas devil fruit user. He controls the island and uses the island for weapon experimentation and also experimenting on children. Other noteworthy characters we meet are the returning Smoker, Tashigi, Trafalgar Law, the villains Caesar, Virgo, and Monet, and the newcomers who are here to stay, the samurais of Wano, Kinemon, and Momonosuke. Although the arc is mainly a setup for the upcoming DeRosa, I found it to be quite good and enjoyed most of it. It was very comedic in tone and definitely had its epic moments. Examples for some funny moments: the Luffy vs Smoker or Tashigi fight, the body switch that Law performed on half of the Straw Hat crew, which created some hilarious moments, and the epic fights of Smoker vs Virgo, Luffy vs Caesar, the Grizzly Magnum moment. Caesar is a cool villain, but he doesn't hold too much weight by himself as a main villain. In my opinion, it is clear throughout the arc that he is only a setup. Virgo was really awesome, and I think he should have gotten an even bigger role in the arc. And Monet, she was also a cool villain, but personally I didn't get attached to her too much and didn't get the hype around her character. And I still think that she just served her part for giving her devil fruit to someone related to the Straw Hat crew. Overall, I feel like Punk Hazard was a fun arc, but there was nothing that made it stick out when comparing it to other arcs in the series. It is there to set up the alliance between Luffy and Law and base Doflamingo as the Joker, and some more stuff that Oda will reveal later, of course. After it comes the Caesar retrieval arc, which is just there. It is kind of weird. And I feel like if a real villain found the pet devil fruit the villain of the arc uses, it would be used much more powerfully. And then, DeRosa. It starts with the Corrida Coliseum fights, continues to a small reunion side trip with Sabo, Law's background story, Doflamingo's background story, the story of DeRosa, the story of Rebecca and Kiros, the fights with Doflamingo's underlings, the actual fight with Doflamingo, and post-DeRosa episodes. And forgive me if I forgot something because there is so freaking much. Way too much. And not only that, it is smeared so much. The pacing is the worst in this arc. I have already mentioned how many episodes are in this arc. 118. How many chapters in the manga? 102. Usually a good ratio of manga chapters translated to anime episodes would be 2 chapters in 1 episode. The ratio of DeRosa is more than 1 anime episode per 1 manga chapter. The problem that comes from the manga in this arc is the introduction of a gazillion characters, but is even amplified in the anime. Except for that one problem, all the others come from the anime itself. Every part of this arc is so excruciatingly long. Every single aspect of DeRosa screams, we are dragging this out so we won't catch up with the manga. Even the animation quality reached new lows in this arc in my opinion, and I am saying that even when considering the already low quality of animation in a super long-running shonen. There were some great moments in this arc, but you have to watch so much boring crap to get to them. Now that it is finally ending, a filler arc is coming, which I actually have high expectations for. Maybe it will give the Zou arc, the next arc in the manga, a chance to be good and not be a disappointing mess like DeRosa was. Number 7. Sky Island. Let me get one thing clear before I continue. I love every single one of the next arcs. They are all great in my opinion. It's just a matter of which one is better at this point. I hope DeRosa was only a one-time thing. Alright, so here we have Sky Island Saga, or Skypiea. It starts off with 2 small filler arcs, which don't amount to much. It then continues to the Jaya arc, a small arc with immense impact on the series. The first time we see Blackbeard is here. We meet his crew. We meet Bellamy, who's gonna return later in the series as well. We also meet 2 very important Shichibukai, Doflamingo and Bartholomew Kuma. Also, we are introduced to some great characters that appeared only in this arc until now. The 2 monkeys, Mashira and Shoujo, and Mont Blanc Cricket. This arc introduced great, colorful new characters, great story, mainly the clash of Bellamy and Luffy's ideals and fists, and some great foreshadowing. After this arc, we are shot to the Sky Island Skypiea. The main part of the saga comes here, and I have to say I like Skypiea, like most of One Piece, but a bit less than any other parts of the series. The main story impact of the arc is the introduction of some new concepts like mantra, which we will later realize is haki. We get more information on what the poneglyphs are and their purpose. The story itself revolves around the present and past of Skypiea, and the main villain is the very powerful Enel, who could destroy the island at any moment. I'll talk about his henchmen if I already mentioned him. They are funny, colorful, and entertaining, but kind of forgettable. I don't seem to remember their abilities and reasoning, and overall they were quite not impacting on the grand scheme of things. Enel was a fantastic villain though, and I really hope we will get to see more of him in the future of the series. And I'm sure we will. He going to the moon has to have some purpose. I hope. Overall, Skypiea is a good arc, but something made just a bit less than other in the series. Maybe it just felt like it didn't have enough impact on the overall story of One Piece. After Skypiea came the G8 arc. I don't have much to say except it was the best filler arc in the series. Entertaining, not too long, it should set an example to all filler arcs in One Piece. Number 6. Fishman Island. The Fishman Island saga is the saga with the least arcs in it, only 2. Also, it doesn't have any fillers. It opens the latter half of One Piece, the New World part. The first arc of Fishman Island is the Return to Sabaody arc, which I find to be one of the greatest in the series. It only consists of 6 episodes, but you get to see so much in these episodes. First, you get to see the crew for the first time after the time skip. It is exciting to see the changes in appearance of the characters and to see how their dynamics will work after now being together for 2 years. It is a reunion full of fun and comedic moments. We also get a few discoveries that impact the story, like Luffy's bounty raise, the changes in the Marines, and about Bartholomew Kuma, who guarded the ship during the crew's entire absence. And on a final note, the animation in this arc is one of the best in the series. Next, Fishman Island. The first island the crew has reached since Thriller Bark, which was a ship actually. I'm not counting Sabaody because it was actually an archipelago. So the first island since Water 7? This arc was really exciting because it was the first time in a very long time we got to see the crew actually reach a new island. My overall impression with this arc was that it was good, but not great. We meet many new characters in this arc, but the important ones come from the royal family of the Fishman Island. The king, 3 princes, and the princess, Shirahoshi. The princess, in my opinion, is the only character that will actually matter in the future of the series, not because of her character, but because she is actually the ancient weapon Poseidon. Also, except of her, none of the new characters left a strong impression on me. The main moral theme of this arc is to say no to racism, and the allegory here is that the fishmen are the less accepted minority. In this context, we get to see the backstories of the dead Fishman Island queen and the pirate Fisher Tiger. I guess you can tell he is a fisherman as well. Their stories are interesting and the message is clear, and I'm sure it will serve another purpose in the future of the series, but I felt like these background episodes could have been trimmed and they were dragged out a bit. Now for the villains and the fights. The villains are the new Fishman pirate crew led by their captain Hody Jones. Their story and motive comes from adoring the Fishman pirates, Arlong's crew, which we met at the beginning of the series, and becoming even more radical than them. Their crew is built from many different kinds of sea species. They are all one-note characters, they're drunk, they're stupid strong, etc. But they are colorful and different. All these fishmen are comparably very weak against the straw as pirates, and then comes the Deus Ex drugs. Pills that make you a lot stronger but will also make you grow older in the long run. How convenient. Without these pills there would be no saga basically. But even with the pills, the fights are still easy for the Straw Hats to win, and here comes the problem. This is the first fight in the New World, and we get to see the Straw Hats fight for the first time with their new abilities after time skip. And we do get a very small taste of that. Very small. We get to see the change of style, mastery of new techniques for example. We know Sanji can use Skywalk. Usopp now uses Pope Green as a weapon, but we don't get to see them fight seriously, which obviously doesn't let us see the full extent of their powers, which is disappointing after such a long time. To summarize, I like the Fishman Island arc, but it does have its few flaws. Number 5, the East Blue Saga. The saga that started it all, the starting point of One Piece. In this saga, we meet the first 5 crew members, and obviously each one has its own short origin arc. We first meet Luffy, for obvious reasons again, and get his origin story. I want his real origin story, Oda. Who was his mom? How did he get to his village? Why did his father leave him? Too many questions. But for the first episode of the series, this information suffices. Before that, Luffy meets Kobe and destroys Alvida, a pirate with a spiky metal bat. Man, East Blue is a sorry excuse for a sea. And Luffy already adds Zoro to his crew, and defeats a marine douche called X-Hand Morgan and his wimpy Sunhound Meppo. Man, East Blue is a sorry excuse for a sea. Then we go to the next arc and meet the next crew member, which we already caught a glimpse of in the first episode, Nami. Her backstory will come later though. Now is time to meet Buggy and his stupid henchmen. Done? Done? I'm sure we won't see him again. Ha ha ha. Next is Usopp. Backstory of Usopp. Plot device, rich girlfriend to get a real ship. Achievement unlocked. Also, Captain Kuro was awesome. Barati arc. Sanji. Backstory of Sanji. Not actually the full backstory of Sanji, but we finally get to that. Go Zo. Go Topland. Promise not to spoil, and it is so hard. Barati arc is awesome. It's on a ship, crew defeats Don Krieg, which is supposedly the strongest pirate in East Blue. Man, East Blue is a sorry excuse for a sea. And then we get to Arlong Park. One of the best arcs in the series by far, with one of the best villains, Arlong, henchmen, Hachi for example, fights and backstory. This arc does not hold empty nostalgia value. It is really, really good. To wrap things up in this saga, we have the Logtan arc. It introduced Smoker and Tashigi, had a couple of funny filler episodes. Daddy the Father. The person who thought of that name is either mental or a genius, or both. And introduced a minor character called Dragon. No need to remember him, he won't have any impact on the series anyways. The stupid filler arc at the end is stupid. No comment either than that. Overall, the East Blue Saga is early One Piece in a nutshell. I guess literally and figuratively. It is full of comedy, epicness, while you are being introduced constantly to new characters, concepts, and exposition. Well, to make this video not ridiculously long, I split it into 2 parts. In the second part, you will be able to see the top 4 sagas on my list. So go ahead and click the annotation or the link in the description to see the video.